Hello, incredible humans. So in this video, we are going to talk about overreactions and how they are actually a flag saying, hey, look at this. There's probably more to this than meets the eye. We've all had times when we have overreacted to something. You know, something that we should have reacted like maybe, oh man, but instead we were like, "Duh!" You know what I'm talking about. You know. Okay, but before we get started, please like and subscribe. So as always, we're going to have new adventures, discovering things about ourselves
through our emotions.
Emotions used to be such a strange thing to me. I was far from my own emotions growing up, that once, when I was an adult, I was clueless about who I was and, honestly, how I felt. But not anymore. In my recovery from post-traumatic stress, I began studying emotions and the role and purpose of emotions in my life. I remember someone handing me a paper with all these emojis on it, and you would have think that someone just handed me a treasure box full of precious jewels. I was in awe and wonder, and I studied this new thing in my hands. What could it be? Have you ever shown an emotion that was inappropriate for a situation? Like laughing when something was scary or something was terribly sad? Or started crying when something was really a happy event? And of course, there's always the overreaction of emotions. Those situations can be embarrassing, especially if somebody calls us out on it. Not that it's ever happened to me. So when we overreact or underreact to a situation, it's because there's emotional energy underneath it.
Emotional energy.
If we slow down, and that's a theme, I'll tell you, slowing down. That was really hard for me to do. Anyway, when we slow down and pause to ponder what's going on inside, we will usually find that in that emotion, there is something to learn about ourselves. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's a truth that will be of tremendous help. Our behavior, the way we act, comes from how we feel. And how we feel comes from what we're thinking. And what we're thinking comes from what we believe. So what we believe, especially about ourselves, is a key component to discovering who we are. So if you can relate to overreacting to situations or having inappropriate emotional responses to a situation, those are great opportunities to see if there's something underneath that emotion that should be looked at. And this is where we go deeper. Don't be afraid. But if I've lost you by saying all that, you can rewind it as many times as you want, of course. But you know me, I'm going to do something so that it's easy to remember. We call it the trip in. It's called the trip in because what we're doing is slowing down, pausing to ponder, and looking within ourselves. It's the journey inward. So to kind of have fun with it, I thought, what if a person truly believed, and I mean really believed, that they were a chicken? I know it's crazy, but it'll help us to remember. What if a person really believed that they were a chicken? We would see something in their behavior that would give us a clue. So I had a chance to talk to a very good friend of mine, Bonnie Blades, and she was gracious enough to tell me a story about a time where she overreacted. Let's listen in.
I hear we're talking about overreacting. overreacting, not me. So, everybody is different. For me, I had a lot of traumas in my childhood and my adult life too. So, overreacting while I'm in sobriety. So, for example, so I'm at a stoplight in Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm in the turn lane, and this little birdie is on the sidewalk. The cars are going by pretty fast, both ways, 4 ways. And the little birdie just, I'm watching it going towards the road. I'm like, no, don't do it. And I'm like closing my eyes, and it, sure enough, it goes right out into the road. And I'm like, oh my God. And it goes right underneath the car. Car goes right over it. And it's stumbling away, and I'm like, oh, thank God. You know, and next thing you know, I'm like, come on, little birdie. Come on, birdie. Come back, birdie. And it's stumbling this way. And the next thing you know, it stumbles right back out. I'm like, oh God, no. Please don't hit it. Nobody hit it. And sure enough, the car goes right over it. And it stumbles. And then the next car hits it. And I am disoriented, overreacting. I feel like I'm holding my breath, and I'm telling myself, breathe, stupid, breathe. But this is what I'm feeling. Like I'm freaked out. I'm not breathing. So I realize that I can't drive, and that I need to use my tools that I was taught in recovery. So I pull over, I call someone, and I'm actually going through the motions out or in through the mouth and out through the nose, or did I say it backwards? Whatever. And I'm actually doing this. I'm like, breathe, stupid, breathe. It's gonna be all right. And so my tools in recovery are to reach out to somebody else. So I did. And once I got calmed down, I was able to realize it's just a damn bird. Move on.
See, in Bonnie's situation, what she really believed came out in her actions after the overreaction. She had to slow down, pause to ponder, and her thoughts. I asked her, what were you thinking when you were freaking out? And she said the first thought that came to her mind, because it was reminding her of flashbacks and trauma that she had had earlier in her life. But she said, the first thought that came to my head is, I need to call somebody. I'm freaking out. So then what did she do? She called several people. And I asked her, well then, if that's what you were thinking, what do you believe? And Bonnie said, I believe that my recovery equals community. That my recovery means I reach out in times of need. My recovery is what's important to me. And I'm in recovery. So I have a personal story and about overreaction or strange reaction, actually. I was in a thrift store and I was looking for a dress. And I was fresh out of my abusive situation. And as I was looking at dresses, within a minute, I began to hold back tears. And then all of a sudden, in a public place, I burst out crying. Like I couldn't be quiet. You would think that I just learned that somebody passed away, but I began to uncontrollably sob. And so I went out to my car and sat there. There was no way I could drive. I was crying too hard. And as I reflected on what was happening, I was thinking in my head, I can't look my best, because when I look my best, horrible things happen because of my history. My trauma told me that. That's what my thoughts were. And so what I believed is I can never dress up again. I can never look my best again. I will be injured. I will be hurt if I do anything to look my best. I was in danger. That was the bottom line. I was in danger. Okay, first, I'm looking at my behavior, my reaction, my uncontrollable sobbing, right? So what was I thinking to feel this way? I was thinking that if I ever tried to look my best, if I ever dressed up, that something horrible would happen to me. And because I was thinking that, what did I believe? What did I have to believe to think that way? Well, I believed that if I looked my best, I would be in danger, that horrible things would happen. I believed that I would never be able to dress up again. I would never be able to do that because I would be in danger. Once you pull out a belief, and obviously that was a false belief, now my life is wonderful. That was a false belief. So now I could adjust what I was believing because, of course, I can look my best and it won't put me in danger. I can wear whatever I want, even if I want to wear a chicken suit. You know, I can wear what I want and that won't place me in danger. But I needed to get to the bottom of it. Can you imagine how I felt bursting out into tears in a thrift store? I thought that I had gone insane. I thought that I had lost my mind. But as I slowed down and processed it with some friends, I was able to see that that reaction made sense. It made sense. And I was able to reframe and adjust what I believe so that I could think properly. And I could think, and then I could feel safe. And when I feel safe, I'm Debbie Doodah Day. So to wrap this video up, I would like to plant a thought in your mind. And that thought is, whenever you see someone overreacting, whenever you see someone whose behavior may be inappropriate, think to yourself, what does a person have to believe to act that way? What does a person have to truly believe in their heart to say the things that they just said? I think we can all step back and look at each other with much more compassion, kindness, and care. That's the thought. So thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you're enjoying these videos because, man, I'm having so much fun making them. Have an awesome day, incredible humans.